Imagine trying to build like a digital library of Alexandria, but the history you are trying to record is still actively contested. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are unpacking a newly released public manifesto from a digital media network called Sadat TV.
Right, and this is definitely not your standard corporate press release.
No, not at all. It is this incredibly ambitious blueprint for crowdsourcing the preservation of history, identity, and transitional justice. And it really shows how modern platforms are attempting to document these complex societal narratives.
Yeah, and to really grasp the ambition here, you have to look at the timeline they've set up. The document centers on March 28th, 2026,
Yep.
which actually marks the 1 year anniversary of their precursor network, which was called Sadat Reporter.
So you might be wondering, well, why does a digital channel's 1 year anniversary matter to me, especially if you aren't already following Afghan media?
Exactly. It seems super niche at first glance.
Right. But look closely at the blueprint. It is basically a masterclass in how a specific community uses modern tech to reclaim their own narrative. Because in just 12 months, they produced hundreds of hours of content.
Hundreds of hours. That is a massive amount of output for a single year.
Yeah, and they even broadcast the live unveiling of this massive historical book called Sadatology. So I guess my question is, why pivot from just broadcasting to suddenly asking the public for help right after this milestone?
Well, I mean, that early output creates crucial institutional momentum. They basically proved they could operate as a solid, localized reporting desk.
A proof of concept, Jason.
Exactly. They proved it works, and now they are leveraging that success to transition into a collaborative institution building phase.
They laid the foundation, right? And now they're using this anniversary to call for architects to help expand it.
And this expansion relies on 4 really complex core pillars outlined in the text. Let's start with the inward identity side.
Right, the first 2 pillars. Yeah, so you have the continuation of Sadatology. For context, the Sadat are a distinct ethnic and social group in Afghanistan who trace their lineage back to the Prophet Muhammad.
Which obviously makes their history and social standing deeply complex to navigate.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And they pair that research with partyology, which is applying a sociological lens to analyze Afghan political parties.
Right, and then they pivot outward to accountability. So the third pillar is transitional justice.
Oh, right, the documentary program.
Yeah, they're launching a program called Half a Century of Crimes, which is aimed at truth-seeking for war victims. And importantly, they aren't just broadcasting this locally.
That brings up the 4th pillar, the multilingual production.
Right. The document stresses translating content across Farsi, Pashto, Arabic, English, German, Urdu, and Turkish.
Which is a huge undertaking. But that specific language list does a lot of heavy lifting. By targeting German, English, and Urdu alongside local languages, they are showing how they plan to capture this massive global refugee diaspora.
Yeah, it connects them globally.
But I have to push back a little here, or play devil's advocate. Documenting 50 years of war crimes and analyzing politically charged Afghan parties is incredibly sensitive.
Oh, absolutely. It's a minefield.
Right. So when you invite the general public to crowdsource contested history, you don't usually get objective research. Usually you just get a massive digital flame war.
Yeah, it can devolve really quickly.
So how are they preventing this from just becoming another shouting match? We're just impartially observing their goals here, but it seems like a huge risk.
It is a risk, but their stated strategy is actually to crowdsource objectivity.
Wait, crowdsource objectivity, how does that work?
Well, the manifesto shows they are intentionally inviting outside academic and scientific collaboration to act as a stabilizing force.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they are building a global brain trust to balance out the inherent biases of any single viewpoint. So they're actively recruiting specialized researchers, on-air experts, translators, and media managers.
So they're bringing in professionals to rigorously filter and process the history, not just letting anyone post whatever they want.
Exactly. They need multimedia content creators who can handle this sensitively.
Which completely explains their ultimate vision. The text states they don't just want to be another media channel.
No, their goal is much bigger.
Yeah, they intend to cement Sadat TV as a credible scientific reference for culture and justice.
They are essentially using a corporate milestone to completely morph from a digital reporting network into a multilingual hub for historical research.
It is a massive shift. So the key takeaway for you listening is that Sadat TV is leveraging its 1 year anniversary to become this global multilingual hub for research and justice.
It really is an unprecedented blueprint for a media network.
It really is. So we'll leave you with this final thought. In an era where history is often dictated by the victors behind closed doors, how might community-driven digital archiving platforms permanently change who gets to record and define the truth of a conflict?